a great job. Start the fucking thing, dude.
Listen,
Well, it is live.
every time I start the thing, I always say to you, you ruin it. You ruin it by like swearing or something, and it's rude.
I
don't
run the
edit it out.
website, the podcast.
Hello, welcome
your
to
self-esteem.
Comic Book Wars, episode 29. The comicbookspeculation.com podcast. I'm Jimmy Linguini. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Because we're obviously on a great roll of things right now.
Yeah, we got to get through this. Let's go. We're late. I'm Sleepy John. I'm working on a Kickstarter to fund a map of the United States for Jimmy.
True that.
I'm Nico, your weekend update correspondent with comicbookspeculation.com. It's good to be here. If you guys raise enough money, I'm drawing the map.
I think that may be worth it. What's the goal? I heard it was $20.
I don't even think he's a good drawer.
I'm definitely not. I can't even trace.
I like that. I like
so
that.
Whatever. Well, I guess we could start off with we released the second part of our top 100 modern comics.
It was so good, dude. The graphics were better this time, and the background music was amazing.
The theme music.
Time. Yeah, I liked it a lot better than the first time.
What? It was the same. Both were the same. Both of the things you just said were the same in both videos.
Jimmy won't put the theme to Airwolf on it, so I mean, everything else is just lackluster compared to the theme of Airwolf.
I've got video of Jimmy singing Motorhead at a karaoke bar in Toronto that I'm going to release for the #1 video.
But we have we got to record part 3 at some point, so that's going to come out, I guess, at some point. I don't know.
Fridays.
That's all I had to say to you about that. Oh yeah, we also watched Watchmen. Did you guys watch Watchmen this week?
Nope.
We're at what, episode 4? Did you say nope?
I didn't watch it.
Okay, I
Don't
guess
hate me.
We won't talk about it.
I want to watch it.
We found out that Dr. Manhattan, he isn't on Mars after all. He actually is Earth itself, and it gets really weird. So you'll see. What else happens? Yeah, and then he's Osmodeus is
Ozymandias.
Yeah, he's not on the moon as originally thought. He's actually in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm making all this stuff up, but you should watch it. I liked it this week. I don't know. We'll see where it's going. But yeah, none of that stuff happened.
Oh man!
I thought Nico watched it. I'm sorry. I could have asked beforehand, but I didn't.
Great summary, Jimmy.
Well, I'm not giving you any real summaries. It was a good episode, and I think I say it would be a pretty significant spoiler. I think I like to let you spoil things for people, and I don't want to do it. So
I liked his summary of it, even though apparently it's not true. So
yeah,
I'm not too happy about that.
I mean, it would be cool if he was in Japan, I guess, but it's not Westworld. So yeah, the Wednesday Warrior Guide for November 20th. There seems to be some okay books this week. I don't know. It seems kind of slow and boring, and a bunch of the stuff that people seem to be putting out are just rehashes of things that we've talked about weeks ago or days ago. So it just seems really weird these last few days.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that really, nothing really is grabbing me this week. I'll tell you that.
But the big one that
go ahead.
Deadpool. Well, okay. Well, I'll just go through it. I don't know if I put the Deadpool image on. We'll find out. But I guess the big book is Captain Marvel 12. Mainly because, and we talked about this in October, so that's what 20 days ago, 30 days ago. That's 20 days ago. Because they released a preview image or a preview book, so we read it, and Thor dies. Spoiler. And she tries to fight the Avengers. So it's all evil Captain Marvel, and Carol Danvers is evil Captain Marvel. But there's also a special variant cover that Nico has no idea what it is. But I also don't know what the cover is because they didn't release the cover. You'd find out today or tomorrow, and I just haven't seen it yet. So
I saw it, but
apparently not. What does she look like?
There's a 2099 cover.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. You have no idea what you're talking about. That's fine.
No, there's these 2099 inspired covers, and then there was a B cover.
Yeah. Which is what?
She's still got her goofy suit on. It's just not as nice as the A cover. It was who drew it though?
Mark Brooks?
I don't think it was a
No.
Brooks.
He's saying it's
What?
a different. He's saying it's a different cover
Okay.
than this.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no, the Brooks
Anyways.
cover's the A cover, dude.
Yeah.
We're talking about the B cover.
And the B cover. Okay, you know what? I'm done. And the B cover is also Brooks because it's like the secret one, right, where she's unmasked.
Yeah, those secret ones don't.
Yeah, I
really
think that's
ever
the
come up in-
2099 one where she's unmasked.
Are you? No, it
And
isn't.
it was
It's this
trash.
exact cover that we're looking at right
Well,
now, except she's wearing a different mask.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, what is this guy
Why
saying?
are we even
Anyway,
talking
look and
about
see if I
this
got
stuff?
that one.
I don't know. I'm getting. I just haven't seen it. Is all I was saying. Anyways, as we said, you're right. We're talking about
Does it look like?
nonsense.
Is that?
But as we were talking about a few weeks ago, there's a Vox character in this new Captain Marvel 12. He's called Vox Supreme. So some people are saying it's the same character. Some people are saying it's a totally new character. He has like these things on his neck that make it look like it's probably the same.
He looks
similar
like
character.
a mashup between the Vox from this and the Sleeper symbiote from the Venom First House.
Well, this thing is the Vox thing are like a race of people, and this is the first appearance
Yeah.
of them. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same one, but I don't know, man. But anyways, that's where I'm at on that. So
Good place to be.
if that means anything, I don't know. Where are we at? Now I'm just talking about nonsense. I don't know where we're at, man. I'm just like, now I'm just getting annoyed, and we're running late, and I'm flustered, so I don't know.
Well,
What do you think, Nico?
hit the button.
Should have picked up that secret variant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah.
Better file bankruptcy. Next.
Hit the button.
Sorry, I get confused sometimes, and then I have to like read the chat and see, like, it makes me even more confused. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that happens.
So who knows, man? I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is we're here, and peace and love. Peace
Cool.
and love. You know what I mean?
Jimmy, I hope to fucking Christ nobody calls you the leader of our comic crew.
I hope so too.
That would
I don't lead anything. Unless it's like a cult that goes nowhere. Yeah.
Oh,
John,
wait,
you
we
sent
got both.
John, you sent me this
No, not so
this
much.
cover. Is this is the 1 in 100 or something?
Yeah, it's the 1 in 100. Also,
Yeah,
Mark
and
Brooks.
And it's a virgin. It's just it only has the
It's like a
different
color
colors,
splash version. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's selling a little bit below ratio right now. I don't.
Yeah, I mean the Captain Marvel 12 book isn't selling for really anything.
How many store variants were there?
Quite a few. But I
Yeah.
just think that this is the big book because again, Thor dies in it, and I'm not saying pick it up, but I'm just saying we talked about it last month, and
I mean, I grabbed one, but Christ,
I'm
it's $4.
curious what the other cover looks like.
There's no way that Thor dies. By the way.
No, Thor does not. Thor's head gets off, but he comes back in King Thor, so there's going to be
Yeah.
something happening there. But
It's gonna be like.
Better beard.
And
gonna be
but I mean,
like,
he
"Oh, I
died
tricked
before, and
you."
Odin brought him back, right? So I'm not sure if Odin can bring him back this time. Is Odin still alive? Isn't he dead or something? I don't know where we're at on this,
Yeah, he's
but
dead.
we'll see where it goes. And he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a new Thor comes back in King Thor. I'm not sure, but the
Yeah, it
other
could be
book
one of-
we talked about last week was this Flo versus the Babyface. It's a 1 in 10. This is a
I
Netflix
can't believe
series.
people are paying this money for this book.
Well, I mean, there's a few sales at $30, and then there's multiple sales at $20. So, I mean, it does have some nice stuff going on. But Flo is what girl.
I object to
Gorgeous-
all of the aforementioned.
Gorgeous,
Oh yeah,
ladies,
gorgeous
of
of wrestling. That's what it is.
Which
yeah.
was wonderful
So-
in my youth. I used to watch that in my childhood. It was
Yeah,
on.
well, I
late
mean, this is
night,
based
like
on the
Friday or
Netflix
Saturday
series.
night when I was
Appar-
like 8 years old.
Speaking
But
of, does
apparently, the
anybody
Netflix
have?
series has been getting
yeah.
a lot of attention, and that's what these are based off of. And this
Yeah,
is the
but the
second
Netflix
series. And the
series
first
is
series,
based
the first
upon-
series does nothing. So yeah, 100%. But that's what this show is, or these comics are based on, and they're Netflix comics.
Does anybody have a VCR for Nico so that he can watch his recorded
Reruns.
VHS?
Yeah, I've
From
got
when he was
Glow
growing
from
up.
like 1986. I was like
Yeah.
7. It was amazing.
Ooh,
Another book that comes out is this Absolute Carnage 1 in 50 variant for issue 5.
Yeah,
we
I like
talked
that.
last week about the new comic book day variant. There have been leaks about what goes on in the issue. If you don't want to hear that, I guess now is when you want to be quiet or whatever. I guess, but or at least not hear it.
Can I describe what I think happened in this book in 2 words?
Yeah, go for it.
Not enough.
Oh,
Like, I mean, that's not going to be a sticking point, is it?
Not enough.
I mean, I don't know
The
that
leaked
there's.
panel.
Oh, okay. So we found out that in it, Dylan finds out he's like what Venom's son or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not even
Eddie
like
Brock.
Yeah, I don't. He finds out he's Eddie Brock's son.
He says it in front of him, and it just ends like on a cliffhanger. I guess basically, it's not like they talk about it.
Yeah,
and also, Dylan has shows off some powers, that he's able to
think are
blow apart symbiotes.
Yeah, which I think is not enough.
Well, I think he's. Don't you think he's going to kind of become more of a powerful than just Venom?
He's going to be Franklin Richards Part 2.
Well, I think they're going to be pushing him for a while. And what was the book? Incoming 1 leaked to retailers this week, and we posted about it on our Facebook group. And then a few hours later, I saw Key Collector did an alert about it. So it's all about Null the Destroyer and Dylan.
That's a great cover, though.
I mean, there's other stuff that goes on in it, but the main thing that you need to know is that it's mainly a story that circles around those 2 characters. So
yeah, I'll be interested in seeing 1 if this is part of a diamond dump, and 2 what the Comic Cron numbers are. I mean, that's just such a pretty cover.
Well, it's not selling for anything. It's
somewhat relevant to the story, actually, which is
not hitting above ratio.
Right? There's no store variants.
Yeah, there are. There's a local comic shop day variant, and
yeah, but the local comic shop day isn't going to affect these numbers, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't matter.
I give up.
Yeah, they did a 1 in 10 ratio and or open order for the A cover for the base cover for the comic shop day one.
But who is? I thought that was
it's Comics Pro. Any members of the Comics Pro can sign up for local comic shop day.
Right. But you think Comics Pro will get the ratio variants and thereafter distribute them to the members?
I don't know, or we just go to the one store that controls Comics Pro.
I didn't know a single store controlled Comics Pro. What store is that?
Offhand, I couldn't tell you. I'd have to look it up. But
still goes
it's a
through
network of
Diamond,
stores, so it goes to it's one guy who controls it all. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But
oh, shame.
I don't think so. I mean, it's just one. I'm sure there's other ones. It's not selling for anything now. It's not like it's a huge store and the price is going to go down. So the price can only go up from here, I think. But we'll see. What else? You want to talk about Annihilation Scourge?
Well, no, I didn't necessarily want to talk about all Scourge. This, it's got Annihilus. They're bringing him back for another story arc. Marvel apparently was like, we're not doing well, so we're going to release another Annihilation arc, which is always done pretty well. Good stories, good art, and then they're also releasing the 2099 stuff starts to come out this week, as well as a new Deadpool #1. I mean, they'll probably win the month in terms of sales because of all these, but. Is anybody really excited about it? I think this.
No, the only thing I'm kind of interested in is whether or not this is indicative of the fact that Annihilus is going to be a villain in an MCU film, and I don't think it necessarily does.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I've read some of what goes on in this book, and he actually needs help teaming up with Nova because he's basically getting beaten. So he's kind of switching over to preserve himself in this book, which is interesting. I think, Nico, I agree, though. Why are they bringing Annihilus up when nobody's been talking about him for a long time? Maybe because Fantastic Four is getting back in the fold, too. Who knows? But it seems to make sense. A lot of things aligning that maybe he's come back in the MCU, or maybe he's going to be
6 months from now, after Feige was really comfortable on that
Like he had
chief
nothing to do
creative
with this.
officer
Right.
title. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, this is interesting. But at this stage of
Yeah.
the game, I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
this was
know.
already in the works before you got that title.
Yeah. So cover's pretty though.
Yeah, it is a nice cover. Vampire State Building #3. I didn't see this for sale online anywhere. I don't know, Jimmy. Did you?
Yeah, I saw a few.
see?
They were all selling for around cover price.
Yeah, just thought it was one to keep an eye on because these Spider-Man #1 homages usually do fairly well, especially if they're independents. Where
Is
there's
this series doing anything though?
only
It kind of cooled
#1
down, didn't
seems
it?
to be, yeah, and I don't know anything about it really.
It's a French series where Charlie Adler does the interiors,
Yeah,
and it's
I mean,
republished from the French series that came out last year.
oh right.
Is the cover art new?
Some of it.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, the
they had some new
McFarlane
artists. What, this
swipe.
piece right here?
This one is,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
mhm.
not the ones for the first issue.
I gotcha.
Yeah, that was the original. Well, they had some variants that were new art. Yeah, I don't know. Also, why are vampires like really making a comeback?
They turned me on. I don't know if you've ever seen Twilight, but every time I watch Twilight, I get sweats.
I thought it was
I'm
Vampire
more of a
Diaries.
team
We're
Jacob
going to
guy
talk about
myself.
that later, I guess. So
Okay. Oh yeah, what's going on? So they have two 2099 titles that come out this week, right, John?
yeah, and I could not find anything on the Fantastic Four one that comes out this week in terms of like who are the characters? These new characters? All the solicitation says is just like, oh boy, here's in 2099. I was like, okay, well, who's the characters? The solicitation was horrible.
That is a female Miss Dr. Fantastic, right? With the hand.
Yeah, they all. It seems like in the Diamond previews, they actually released like the first 4 pages or whatever, and it seems like they all have the same powers as the original Fantastic Four, but they're newer characters, obviously. But
Yeah,
they
that might be a
didn't.
good book to pick up, or at least
They
put
didn't
in
say
your-
anything else about it.
think
That
we're-
cover's pretty nice too. I like that cover.
When that book
Are
becomes
we going to
$1,
start a
it would be great
rumor
to
that
pick
this
up.
is what the film is going to be based on, so that we can sell our copies for $10 a piece instead of $5?
It also
become
looks like-
filthy rich.
It also
in an
looks
internet
like
pump and dump scheme that rivals the crimes of the Hunt brothers.
the Flame guy.
What the hell are you talking about?
Who's the Flame guy again?
Johnny
His name?
Storm.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny Storm is also a female.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth picking up just because it has a bunch of it probably has a bunch of first appearances.
It'd be cooler if
They'll go anywhere, but
the
But
Human
they
Torch
had-
was an android.
But they had a 2099 Fantastic Four before, so I don't know if it's the same characters or not.
I mean, they also had the Punisher one, right? And then that was like
Yeah.
4 different Punishers, and like
Yeah.
he's a female in space in one of them. So or-
There's also
Punisher,
Which
yeah.
no, if that would have came, that book was like 15 years ahead of its time.
it was it
If it would have
the
came
art-
out now, it'd have been huge.
The artwork is really cool, but
nobody cares about that book.
The story work was really bad. Anyways, what else is going? What do
Jimmy,
you think
do you
about
know
this one though?
Speaking of this, I don't know what
Because
this
this one
is
has the
about.
Punisher 2099 in it. Now that
Yeah.
I'm looking at it,
Speaking of this, I was talking to another fellow comic mate earlier, and they were telling me about the Spider-Man 2099. It kind of just ended on a left an open end to the story or something, and then they later in 2009 they released a trade paperback. Do you recall this, Jimmy? That was like
no.
a new story.
I do, and no, I'm not sure.
It wasn't floppies though.
It was a
Which I
trade
thought was-
paperback. Does that
Yeah,
sell well? Or,
I'd
or
never heard. I don't
you've
know.
Never heard of it. Okay.
Never heard of it before today. So
Yeah, that's something to look into. I would imagine.
yeah, maybe check it out. Also, there was a Hulk 2099, and Hulk's real popular now. So that book will definitely be about
I think the one-
$200 by the
You and
end
I
of the
both
week.
know the one that everybody should be going for in the 2099 universe.
Yeah, Ravage 2099.
Okay.
I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
very
See, you
obvious.
knew where I was going with it.
Yeah, obvious.
My buddy claims that for like if he had the discipline, he would look inside of every single copy of Ravage 2099 because he thinks that Stan Lee probably signed like 1 in every 25 copies. He signed so many copies of that book.
Yeah, I saw a couple at that sale, and I was telling my buddy, he's like,
I can do it for like 3 or 4 times, but then I just can't do it anymore.
He's
I'll
like,
have
you
the
want
patience.
this Punisher 2099? I was like, no, but if you say any Ravage, I'll take him. And then he found some. I was like, no,
Shit.
never mind. Changed my mind.
I had a good one about that. Oh yeah, no, the one I always picked up was like that Jay Lee Spider-Man 2099 variant cover because it always sold well. But now everybody seems to have picked up on that. But,
I saw there was a sale, so I was looking to see if the 2099 stuff was picking up at all. There was a sale of the Toy Biz reprint 9.8, the white one,
Ooh, how much?
500, which is like last year there was a sale.
Oh, look what I got right here.
I can't tell what that is. Looks like
yeah, I can't tell what that is. What is that?
I think it's it looks like Fantastic Four 2099 number 1 from 1998.
It looks like a reprint. Looks like a fake reprint, whatever that is.
Oh, it's
Do you like that I just have these books here, ironically?
No.
Like, that was actually not canned. It was just happened to be here. I got to get that out of there. I'm not real skilled.
Another book that comes out
of there
that isn't doing anything, but is interesting is He-Man and the Masters.
You like He-Man because he doesn't wear a shirt.
You're right. Again, kind of like vampires, it makes me sweaty. But this is the first appearance of the anti-He-Man character who has appeared in the cartoons, and it's the evil He-Man. So
he looks
the book
good.
isn't doing anything now. There's 2 covers. There's no variant covers.
So this is
there an earlier appearance of him in like a foreign language comic?
I don't know. I mean,
that'd be badass.
I'm not sure. But
do you want to explain how he started? I kind of jumped the gun.
No, go for it. But I was gonna say about the it's another multiverse, so I don't know if these are really like in continuity, but from the little bit that I read about it, the premise is that Skeletor and He-Man team up against him, I believe.
Okay, but he first appeared
an interesting story. In the cartoons.
Okay, Jimmy, where did he first appear?
You talking about the Bleeding Cool article about it?
I thought it was I don't know.
It's like some German cartoon or something where they made
I thought it was like a French audio tape or some shit.
It could have been. I don't know what the hell it was. It's like you're never gonna find it, and nobody wants to buy it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Whoa! We excited about it.
I'm not excited about it because it's not selling for anything, and I never really got into He-Man. Again, I was really into Power Rangers, so whatever.
Yeah, that was before your time.
Yeah,
did anybody shell out the cash for this book?
No, but we were the first people, I think,
the
first spec site to post the actual cover and not a picture of the cover, so I think that was pretty swell.
Fancy.
Yeah, so Heartbeat 1, there's a 1 per store variant. That's this one. It's Maria Lovett's first ongoing series. Well, not first ongoing.
Ask me if I got one of those.
It's a 5-part series. The book did have some sales at $80. It seemed to have gone down quite a bit to
80,
30 to 40.
For 80.
There was one at 30. It's 30 or 40. There was one when I looked earlier that you could buy for $10. I don't know what the condition
that
was.
It
said C-scan, so I imagine it wasn't in the greatest condition.
I think the one that sold for 80, if that is indeed true, was being pumped up by a group before copies hit the market.
Lame.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the cover A in the middle. There's the FOC cover B on the side, on the right. And then, so then there's the 1 per store. Now, the covers aren't selling for anything except for this 1 per store one. So, but the first prints have sold out. It's a 5-part miniseries. And anything else you guys want to say?
It's a cool premise. I didn't read it, but what's the amount of money that you would pay for the black book?
$20.
Or you wouldn't buy it at all?
$5.
Hold on, say it. Talk
$20.
$5.
You pay $5 you tight ass.
It's gonna be.
I'm with Jimmy. I'll pay $20 for that.
In a couple months, it'll be worthless.
Right, but I'll pay $20 for it, like just so I can have one now.
Well, it's selling for $40 now, and it's not even in the store yet. So
it's not tomorrow. In the store
yet? Today's Tuesday. Doesn't come out till Wednesday.
It comes out what are you talking
about? It's all kind of the same.
Tomorrow it will be selling for $20, I believe.
$20?
Yeah. Because idiots don't look at sold prices and they just go, "Oh, why do you put these things onto eBay and then the people pay you for them?"
Well,
I've got my notes for Wednesday. Get Captain Marvel's secret variant, and then my next one is going to be what's it called again? Heartbeat.
Oh my gosh.
Bye.
This is terrible. What's the last?
I don't understand all this new stuff.
What's the last one per store that's actually worth anything? Now, I have one in my head. I can't think of any other ones though. Jimmy, you got one?
Another one per store. Well, they usually sell well like upon release, right?
Yeah.
And then they go down. I mean, they don't really do.
If I bought this for $10 or something, yeah, I would put it online and you could sell it. But don't pay $40 for it. There's absolutely no reason to.
Yeah, I mean, the books only really get good if they get optioned or whatever. And I mean, Boom is working with Fox now, and they do seem to be putting out, like, getting some optioning, but I don't know what's happening here. The other thing I want to talk about...
so the one per store was Spawn. Thank you. That's so good.
Oh, yeah. Tell them. Good job, Sleepy.
Folklords came out last week. It also sold out and went into...
I didn't mess with that one.
4th printing, I think we're at. I didn't order. I didn't buy any copies either.
But
it
had 4 printings.
It had a 1 per store variant. This was the cover B. These books have kind of fallen down back to earth. They're not selling for what they were. But it also had the 1 per store variant. And the reason I mention all of these is next week, the 2nd print comes out. Okay. You following me?
Yeah.
And now there's an auction that ends it should end in 10 hours now, but it's at $30.
Yeah.
And the last time that medieval shit was cool, Led Zeppelin was singing about fucking Lords of the Ring.
And when you look on eBay, there's only 3 listings of them, and they start at $40 for buy it now. And then again, there's the one auction. So
we're gonna assume they're only printing 1,000 or less of these.
Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking right now that this is a book that you probably want to try to secure copies of.
Yeah,
early
because of
like
Once and Future did.
Yeah, because of all these
manufactured rarity.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think it has good long-term potential. I don't think it's a good read. I haven't read it. I don't know, but I mean, Grass Kings is, but I don't know what's going on here.
Wow, they're talking about pumping up. Yeah.
I know. I stopped reading Grass Kings, I think, at issue 12.
Liar. Okay. You stopped reading Grass Kings after your store variant was made.
No. I have 1 in 10 variants or 1 in 5 variants up to issue like 20, I think, but I stopped reading around issue 12.
Wow.
Once the girl is there and live. Well, I'm not going to get into the whole story, but like I
really did read it. Look at this.
You didn't. I know you didn't, but I did.
Clearly not.
It's Jeff Lemire. He reads all Jeff.
Oh, he does read all the Lemire stuff. I'm sorry. Thank you, Sleepy. Can we get back to my point that the last time any medieval story was cool was when Led Zeppelin was fucking singing about Mordor in one of their songs.
What about Shrek?
Medieval. So Game of Thrones is no good?
That is absolutely not medieval.
Wait, are we ignoring what I said about Shrek?
Shrek is the shit.
So Shrek isn't cool though all of a sudden? Oh, it doesn't count. Okay.
Are you saying when you go to a Renaissance fair, they don't have flying dragons? Because I'm pretty sure they do.
You're telling me medieval times isn't... anyways, it doesn't matter. That's it. Anything else for new books this week that you guys want to go over? I think
Jimmy has a reserved table at medieval times. No one... No.
I don't think I've ever been to medieval times. I've always wanted to, but I've never...
Oh, wait till you come to America. We'll find one.
Oh, there's one here. I just haven't gone.
Where are we going to find one?
Yeah. Where's one that hasn't closed?
It's like trying to find a fucking Blockbuster video. Anyway.
Okay.
I get confused sometimes, especially in the chat. Like I don't know. Sometimes that's the problem. I always yell at other people to not get like too into the chat. I just get confused by the chat sometimes.
Poor Blind Adam is under the delusion that there's not like 6 accounts that are Rick Taylor and that they're not conversing.
I don't know. It isn't. I love Adam, but I'm just confused sometimes. I don't even know why I talk about it. But what's this? Oh, so this came out this week, or not this week, November 17th. But that's this. So it was November 16th. So
that's my birthday.
We talked about this a few days ago on the website, as you can see. But this book came out last week, Superman 17. This is the Adam Hughes cover B, and it seems to have taken off on the speculative market.
What's wrong with Wonder Woman's face?
What's wrong with Adam Hughes on Superman?
She seems to be startled. It doesn't matter. Okay, the point is this book started selling well because it builds up to Superman 18, and Superman 17 is sold out, and they said that they're not doing a second printing. Whatever. I mean, it's DC.
Wow.
So, but anyways,
Great.
it's Superman 18. As you see here, Clark Kent is supposed to reveal himself to the world and say, "Hey, I'm Superman."
Yeah, this is the fucking moment.
Nothing really.
This is the moment where the fucking comic market crashes again. Son of a bitch.
Nothing really happened. Nothing really happened in 17.
Fuck.
But it is selling well. The cover A, not so much. I mean, there's a few sales around $6 or $7, which is above cover, but there's still a bunch of cover ones. This one seems to be selling for about $10 or $15.
So, guys, seriously, now that this signals the end of the comic market, like in the 90s with Superman 75, what are the after the crash? What are the big books that you guys are going to really hone in on? I mean, are you going to just like try to see how many AF-15s you can get?
Okay, so these are the covers for. These are the covers for Superman 18. That's the cover B. Now, the reason I think this is interesting is because I read Superman 17, which Nico didn't, and in it they reference.
I did not.
They reference the Young Justice, and Superman talks about how he's going to reveal himself and how it's going to change everything. So I think that he might step down and step out of the world, and somebody might take over. And
is that a sexual innuendo when he says he's going to reveal himself?
Yeah, John Kent's taking over.
Oh,
so they already said that.
Oh, it's G5.
Did they?
Act like I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention. Okay, so anyways, that's where we're going
G5.
with this. And I just think it's interesting. So, I don't know.
Yeah, they're probably going to do this.
What's the John Kent book to buy, guys?
But
Convergence or the lowest in Park 1 in 50?
Shut up, Nico.
Shut up. Stay on topic.
What is this guy doing? Okay, but anyway, so Superman 17 cover B, as we mentioned on the website, it's already a classic cover. It's Adam Hughes. It has the Holy Trinity. Okay, we got cover. It is. How is it not? It has the Holy Trinity: Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, and it leads into the Superman identity reveal, and it's selling for $15 to $20. So if you can find it, it's a good book to be picking up.
Was that book already come out?
Yeah, last week. This was last week's book.
Oh Lord, I should have got those at the shop today too. Fuck.
Yeah, it's not like I did a post about this days ago.
Yeah, check out comic book speculation for all your news, Nico. They got good news on there.
You know,
I don't know. I saw it. I actually saw the post on another website 2 days later, and I was like, "Haha, I gotcha, sucker!"
Shocker!
Speaking about gotcha, sucker. I also saw this.
Keenan Ivory Wayans over here.
I saw this on
a great movie.
I saw this on a few websites today. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure we talked about this last week or days ago.
But, so where is the comic actually at?
It makes me happy, dude. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, and I like that other people are. I feel like you should get a hashtag, though.
So
it should be like hashtag Jimmy Time.
Walking Dead has had a few wines that they've released, but they've released a new batch. There's about 4 different varieties. And this one they did a special comic book for, and they sent this to retailers that sell the liquor. So people are finding this at their local liquor stores. I've read people say that they found them in piles at a corner, by the window. I think that if you go to your liquor store and you find these, just ask them. And worst case scenario, they tell you that you're crazy and to leave.
Yeah.
But
do those boxes sell for anything? Because the boxes have the art on it too.
That's true, but the comic itself seems to be selling for $400 to $500. Some copies, like this one, made it out there, or these 2 that are signed by the artist, made it out there at New York Comic Con when the artist was selling them. But they have started to hit stores, which is not signed. So all the non-signed ones are ones that have come out from this new batch. All the ones from New York Comic Con were signed.
That's Adlard's art, I assume. Adlard's.
No, it's Chris Burnham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's garbage art, but it's Chris Burnham. He did the labels as well. And if you get a phone app, they move. I went to my liquor store; they had them for $30 a bottle, but on my phone it said I could get them at the U.S. stores for $5.99. So I was like, "Are you kidding me? I'm not buying this. This is garbage." But yeah,
I didn't even bother trying to go to the store to find them. But I don't know why. It's kind of dumb if it's selling for $400. I guess I should have went, but
I only did it because I had nothing else to do, and it was like they're on my way of doing things.
No one's paying $400 for that fucking comic. Let's just
people are, dude. These are completed. These are completed sales. One sold for $1,000. On
Last
November
week. It's been out
13th.
since last week.
November 18th was one
Get
went for
the
440.
fuck outta here.
Again, I posted about this on the
Oh my
16th.
god.
And then somebody posted about it yesterday, I think, on some variant list. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's interesting. But they have released a new batch, and that's what all the non-signed ones are. So it's worth looking for. Unless you're sober, then I don't know if it's worth looking for them. But
No,
there's
I don't drink. It's definitely worth fucking looking for them. I'll be in every goddamn liquor store in the next 30-mile radius. Be going on my lunch
Oh no,
hour.
I didn't do.
like,
I did this
"Hey."
on. It says I did it on November 14th. So that's
Okay.
like right
I got
after
all
last
these good
podcast.
books and shit.
That was a
I'm
good one.
excited about.
It's
That's
been
good-
some
yeah,
good
so that was-
articles.
Yeah,
I was-
look, I
those
wrote that
my-
one down too, guys. You
Blah
see what
blah
I did
blah.
there?
I did perfect posts and
Go,
yeah,
Jimmy.
Right. What else we got? I think it's time
What's
for
going on?
Maybe
Nico
you
time.
are the leader of our comic book army.
Maybe. What about Nico time?
Oh, sweet. I'm glad you asked.
So what's on Nico time? This
All
is the
right,
first
so
book.
first and foremost, I hope that each and every one of you have had the opportunity to read my weekend update. Each and every week, we try to talk about new and interesting ideas, and I channel my inner Rodney King with a message of why can't we all just fucking get along. This week, I talked specifically about some of the cool price variants that appear. One of those books was this particular copy of Eternals 13. It was a CGC 9.4 with an asking price of $3,899.99. If you're interested in the census numbers, you're going to have to go back and read the article. But suffice to say, I suggested that I thought the book was going to move. In spite of the astronomical price, there's a little more than I think 24 copies total on the census, and sure as hell a best offer was accepted. So that book is sold.
How much did it sell for?
Don't know.
Oh,
the tools are
you know
down.
there's a what? No, you got to go to flippertools.com.
Flipper Tools is not reporting best offer prices right now, unless it started
Since
doing
when?
it again recently.
So, when's the last time you checked? It's been
A
working
couple
for
weeks.
a month.
Ah, well.
But yeah, the other book that
Sleepy,
you had.
why don't you tell us what the fuck it sold for?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It'll be
it's
in
going
the
to take him a
next-
second to look it up. But the other book,
He can do it in
It'll be at the
2.2
next
seconds.
Weekend
we
update.
can't.
It'll
Anyways,
be-
the other book,
The fuck he can. I could look it up
The
while
other
I
book-
talk if you want me to.
the
Jesus
other
Christ,
book
this
you
is
had on your
rocket
list,
science.
it's not a. It doesn't matter. The other book
Yeah,
you had on your
similar-
list was what, this
similarly,
30-cent,
yeah.
this other 30-cent variant.
Yeah. So the first was a 35-cent price variant. Issues 1 and 2 have 30-cent price variants. Again, we talked about both of these books in the weekend update. This was pretty damn interesting because there's and again, I'm going to be guesstimating these numbers. There's 20% of the copies of the price variant on the census as there are
What are you talking about?
of the regular book that have been slabbed. So a CGC 9.4 went up in a 24-hour auction with no reserve on November 17th and sold for $1,650. Next. All right. I really like this cover. This is a solid book. The last sale was a CGC 2.5 back in May for $2,850. This was a raw copy.
It looks sharp too when you look at it.
Yeah, it was
looks
super sharp.
It's got a nice spine. It's got this just looks weird because it's black on black. But this is, I guarantee you, this is perfect. It's not a chip out of it. But again, it is restored, which kind of
right. Now the restoration can be removed. It's basically rice paper, sealing tears, and reattaching the cover and doing some spine support. But if you get it to a comic book artist, not a a pencil drawer or a colorist, but the guys that are so good at pressing and cleaning that it's no longer science, it's art. They can take care of this kind of stuff. I don't know what shape the book would be in after that or what exactly it would cost, but CGC themselves could knock it out for a really cheap sum. I mean, they're really cheap. And Jimmy's making faces at me again, or else he's jerking off under the table. I can't tell which. Now he's got something in his mouth. Anyway, the point is, it sold for in that particular condition over $3,000, which was a big win. Jimmy's got the final price on the screen. On to the next one. All right, so this is a cool book. I love hack and slash. If you guys read the Weekend Update, you know how much I enjoy hack and slash. And how much I secretly pine for a hack and slash TV show. I think it's they're great titles to flip because there's really not a lot of skill to it. If you find like a risque cover, it's a win. There's a handful of Frisson covers that are always a win, and a couple recalled books, a couple books that were distributed directly by DDP that Diamond wouldn't solicit that I think are good longer term spec plays. This is the first issue of the series, and a CGC 9.6 copy sold for $125. They basically gave it away. I think it's important at this time of the year. We've been talking about it being really a buying season in the Weekend Update. People are saving up their money for Christmas, and I think that a lot of newer sellers, at least a lot of newer eBay sellers, are making mistakes putting books that don't have a lot of eyes on them in no reserve auctions, and they're getting lackluster results. We saw that with bigger books like Marvel Special Edition 15 last week, and now we're seeing it with books like this that are coming in at less than 50% of what buy it nows are priced at, and about 50%.
Well, there was also 2 sales this year. They were this is about 50% of the actual ones that have sold too. So yeah, I agree.
My man Sleepy. Thanks, bro.
Why would you auction this book right now? Like, this is a terrible time.
No, but I mean, but it just happens, man. This is like time to steal books. You know?
Yeah. I think sometimes people maybe just want to get rid of books, but there's absolutely no reason to auction this right now.
Yeah, if you're hard up for cash, throw them up, and just keep relisting them. The quickest way to move books on eBay is not to put them up for like 30 days. People look at new listings. You know what I mean? Like, that's just one of the easiest kind of tricks. I certainly don't do that. In other words, I certainly don't like promptly relist books or have good listing practices, but I know what they are. And right. And like, if it was my day job, or like if I had the time to do it, or I was short on cash or whatever, like, those are the best practices I would follow. And like this week we're going to talk, in the Weekend Update about how, different people do comics differently, right? Like, that's one of the recurring themes. And there's different ways to make money buying and selling books. Some people just blow out dollar books, and other people try to find books that they can crack and press and reslab and whatever. But as far as eBay goes, there's again a ton of different strategies. One of those strategies that I think a lot of people employ is kind of trolling for new listings so that they can buy books when they think they're underlisted or underpriced, and similarly making like best offers on auctions before auctions start. So you're going to get a lot of eyes on books that way. Don't throw books that aren't super hot in no reserve auctions. You're going to get murdered, particularly this time of year.
Yes, I agree.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, yeah, it's probably buy it now book.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah. I appreciate your support.
Yeah. I'm like the guy in Pootie Tang who, like, the one guy gives a complicated answer and then the other guy's like, yeah. And she drives really fast. Okay, what's going on with WandaVision casting news?
So John? We talked about this a few weeks back on episode 24. Actually, so that'd be 5 episodes ago. They are casting 2 8-year-old twin boys for the show, presumably to be the children, which is what we talked about. It would be the character currently known as Wiccan and Speed. So
Oh,
they
so
both.
this is Wiccan, right?
Yeah.
And his first appearance is what, Young Avengers 1?
Well, I mean, his first appearance as a superhero is, yes, Young Avengers 1. He's part of the Young Avengers team, as is Speed, whose first appearance as Speed actually is 12, I guess. He first appears in the Young Avengers series in 10, where they go after him to get him to join their team. Then in 12, comes in to the fray with his nickname of Speed. So one thing I didn't realize, because I never read the issue, was this Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries, 12-issue miniseries.
Number
This is
2.
number 12. This is the
Or
second
12, I'm sorry.
series.
The birth issue, right?
Yeah, the birth issue.
Where did I hear about that before?
Yeah, Jimmy mentioned this book a long time ago, and I never read it at the time because I just thought it was probably not the same characters, but they do have the same names. Now they're just babies, and at the end of the book, they talk about, or they mention their names, which are the same characters. So it's good baby spec. Are we? It seems like we're trending more towards baby spec anymore.
It's a contradiction in terms. Good baby spec, but this one's certainly better than most.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're all the same. Well, it's not.
You think they all
retconned, I guess
suck?
you
I
could
mean,
say.
it's not a book that's gonna.
It's not retconned like Cable, and that's what everybody hangs their hat on. Is what about Baby Cable? What about well, there's been some other ones that are actually a little different.
I mean, it's not gonna break the bank though. Buying copies of this book, so
No.
in the wild at
Dude,
least.
that's
So
a dollar bin win every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
$3, $3.
Jimmy, how long ago did you think you talked about this
Like
book?
a month ago, probably, maybe 2 months ago.
No.
Whenever
no.
maybe San Diego Comic-Con, whenever they
It was
announced
months ago.
WandaVision. Well, I don't know, man, but we did talk about it a while ago.
Yeah.
It was definitely when I picked up 1 or 2 copies, and I haven't picked them up in quite some time. So,
Dude, I stopped buying that book. I have so many of them.
Yeah, no, I just haven't been able to find them. I think they're drying up. So
I'll wait for Nico's next sale when he doesn't list them on eBay, but I can buy them.
all his good books are like $1.
Yeah. So speaking
yeah.
of baby spec, it was announced. Well,
These
it's
are
not
tweens.
confirmed. Not confirmed yet. John Kent and Damian Wayne might be in the new Superman and Lois show that we talked about last week. Would make sense, I guess. That would be the only reason I would see to make a new Superman show.
That's on the
Would be
CW, right?
Yeah, it would be to introduce some characters like this, bring something new into the fold. So, we can talk about this kind of team up. This is, in my opinion, that's probably the best book to get, and I always pick it up when I see it for $1 or $2 because it's always pretty much sold well. This is Superman Rebirth number 10, when the first time the two of them meet.
Why is one of them red?
We all know
That's the
DC
second
likes
print.
to do the red second print covers.
So yeah, this is being called
shocker.
the first
Okay.
appearance of the Super Sons, which is like whatever.
I hate that none of those red books are ever worth anything. That 871, the Tech 871 second print is an absolute fucking nightmare.
So
There's a Batman third print red that's really hard to find too, which is pretty nice.
Convergent Superman 2 is the first appearance of John Kent, allegedly, right?
Yeah. Is that more baby spec?
Baby spec, yep. And
I
that
like
book that book's heated up and down over.
I like
over
the Lois
years.
and Clark 1 ratio.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Batman 655 is the first appearance of Damian.
First market perceived Damian Wayne. It's a book that everybody goes after. There's Superman Lois and Clark number 1. That's just the base cover. He's seen right there on the cover. And then, of course, they ended up having their own miniseries, or their own series, which eventually ended.
I hear the Matina cover is really hard to find.
Yeah. Does anybody want it, though?
No. I mean, there's a few boxes in my basement. Yeah.
Who's on the cover of it? I can't remember what
Both
that
of
cover
them,
looks
but
like.
I mean, I have boxes and boxes.
Yeah.
Where did Matina swipe it from?
Oh, you're a disaster too. Who does that? Come on, these are my sales we're talking about. You have to be negative to my variants.
I mean, dude, I like that Red Hood cover. I'm sure he stole it too. But the point is, I like Matina. Fuck, I'll
And
defend
there was
him
also
in a
this one,
copyright suit.
Superman
I'm that kind of
11.
asshole.
Right, which was the important. So this is after Superman 10, right?
Yeah, this is when they, because obviously from 10 the cover it looks like they don't like each other, and then 11 they team up to become Super Sons. This is the first Super Sons.
Yeah, I probably should have put this slide earlier, but I like this cover.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah, it's a good one.
built up
And
to it.
there's a B cover that's Daniel Johnson, I think, maybe. It's pretty nice. It's not as good as this one. This is John Boy Myers, I believe, who does
Yeah, the whole
cover
shadow
ups.
thing is pretty.
He's getting a
pretty
little
sweet.
bit of attention, little John Boy.
Yeah.
Dude,
Hey, John Boy.
he's a good artist. I like his stuff.
You guys.
What?
And then there's also this book. What's this book?
A graphic
it's a-
novel? So you disqualified it. I remember I used to like graphic novels, and you guys both told me I was stupid.
Who appears
Like,
in
nobody
this?
will buy those.
I never said
Damian
that.
Wayne.
You both fucking told me
Not
that.
about this one.
God
Damian
damn it.
Wayne.
That's because you got a stack of them, probably.
No, well,
You were-
maybe. I mean,
You
I
were
know
Yeah.
talking about
to find,
you
but
were
I don't
talking
ever
about
remember telling you that.
some
about graphic
dumb
novels.
John Byrne She-Hulk book.
Yeah, that was. I like that one. I like the New Mutants one, even though there's no first appearances. Just that
So
matters.
this is this is an original
First
graphic
appearance of
novel,
New
and
Mutants.
Damian Wayne first appears in it. You're telling me?
Yeah. So it's never really been market accepted as it's Damian Wayne's got a bunch of books that are
It's like that
really-
first apocalypse. You know what I mean? Like it is, but like nobody cares.
well he's like a god in that one. Not that
Right. What's the
sense that
same
we
deal
know
here? It was
Yeah.
like retcon.
Was
Yeah.
it retcon though?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Never read it.
They don't call him fucking Damien.
He
Oh,
just
they
said
don't.
he did.
I don't
I
think
don't
so. I think it's just
I
an
never read it.
unnamed baby.
He's
Okay.
just a baby.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We talk about baby spec.
I mean, there's a few covers too.
All about
so
that baby life.
I want my baby back. Okay, where are we going?
Chili's.
The other big
Baby
news that
back
came out
ribs.
this
You
week
guys
was-
told me I wouldn't get any of those, and I did. Out of dollar bins. What's up?
Yeah, so we
They're
saw the
not
first trailer
selling.
for V Wars this week. So I mean,
Today.
get ready. I guess I don't know.
Comes out December 5th.
Yeah.
So it's 2 weeks. Comes out. Did you watch the trailer?
I watched it, but it got boring. Like it was a
No.
4-minute trailer,
Oh,
and after
man.
like a minute and a half, I got bored. I
Yeah,
just
the
didn't
only thing
watch
that
it.
can, the only thing that I think that can save it is the main actor who is from Jimmy's favorite show that he doesn't recognize, Vampire Diaries. Speaking of, that's why I was mentioning vampires earlier with that Vampire State Building. And, I don't know, zombies are out, vampires are in. So.
Can I mention specifically that you guys both told me I was too late? You're not going to find any of those books. You're not going to find any of those books now. You're too late. And I found not one, but 2 copies. What's up?
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta sell
I should
them
have
in
bought that
time.
ratio.
You gotta sell them in time.
No, but that's not the point.
Oh, okay. You proved us
conditioner?
wrong.
Sometimes it's just nice to be, it's kind of like I like to be invited to parties even though I don't want to go.
No, that's part of the fun of
You know what I mean? Like
speculation
I'm not
is,
gonna go, but like I like
it's
to
the
be
hunt.
invited.
It's the hunt of finding it. When you find it and you're like, oh yeah, that's the stuff.
Couldn't
That's
agree
interesting.
more.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. We had other stuff we wanted to talk about. I just don't have slides ready for them.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what are we gonna talk about?
Well,
Um,
the first
Yeah.
thing I wanted to talk
I
about
might just
was
randomly have the books laying around here.
Disney Plus Moon Knight writer Jeremy Slater.
so he
What
wrote
does this mean?
he wrote the 2015 Fantastic Four movie, which most people will say is terrible. I have not watched it, but he did redeem himself. He was the co-writer on Umbrella Academy, so he's worked his way up. I don't know. He on his Twitter he said when it got announced that he can't really say anything about anything right now, so just kind of watch as things progress. But the rumors for it were that, and I don't know if anything of them is substantiated because obviously they just hired a writer. What's her name? What's that character's name? The
Mark Spector. Madam whatever.
Glass, Scarlet,
Looking
Glass.
I don't know. Look, oh,
Something.
there we go. Good job, Jimmy. Good
I don't
job.
think
Those
that's-
books
I
aren't
don't
worth
think that's
shit.
it.
That might not be a bad. What's a 9.8 sell for these days?
What book are you talking about?
That Looking
I'm talking
Glass.
about
What?
The first
no, I'm
appearance of
talking
Looking
about
Glass.
Moon Knight 14, the one that's selling
Yeah.
for $1,000 in 9.8.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of
Well, I mean,
here.
there's only like 12 graded.
Yeah, there's
So-
not many graded.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't see that one coming. I was just going to say that book's really hard to find in the wild. I found 0 copies that were in any good shape whatsoever.
Yeah.
Might be smart to buy a 9.8. It's
I found
$1,000.
It started heating up a
Retract
couple
my
of months
statement.
Okay, we'll edit the video.
You know, I don't like to pay like the real price for things. It's not my way.
The other news that came out, I just love giving you a hard time, and I mean today is just filled with giving you a hard time, I guess.
Jimmy with these sexual innuendos always making me uncomfortable.
Oh
you
boy.
like it. You're more of a bottom, anyways. So there was some news, I guess, apparently about a what if Tony Stark or something. What's that about, John? I don't know anything about it.
They just released an image of what if Tony Stark, where he's going to be helping fight in Afghanistan, and what if
That's what irredeemable or no invincible Iron Man, Matt Fraction.
These
I
are
don't know.
cartoons for the
I don't
Disney
think any
Plus
of this
animated.
stuff. Yeah, I don't think any of this stuff is based off of comic books.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
Far.
But I mean I think the Matt Fraction Invincible Iron Man
And then
story, nobody talks about it anymore, and it was really the greatest Iron Man's book of all time.
Fraction's just a beast, dude.
It's all about terrorism and
Fraction's a beast, man.
Cyber terrorism. It's really good. I liked it.
And then Steve Rogers in World War II, which, yeah, I mean,
Are we going to
obviously
get
that
the
fits.
Timely Atlas kind of like Human Torch, Submariner, sort of
They showed him
Invaders
in
kind of thing?
Steve Rogers was in like the old Iron Man suit, like the original Iron Man suit.
So that's
But
that's old. That's an old image,
But
right?
it's green, not like gray or it's silver or whatever metal
Yeah,
color.
what's the book for that? The comic for that that'll go up to $20 for one day only.
I don't know.
Whatever
Is it
it
a
was.
what if issue?
I don't know. I've been grabbing them. It's like Steve Rogers in the Iron Man costume, the old timey Iron Man costume.
Why were you
Yeah, that's
grabbing
what it is. It's called What If Steve
Old-timey.
Rogers was in the old-timey Iron Man costume. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
Why were you picking that issue up?
Because of the fucking image release of that
No, these
a
are
long
new
time
image-
ago.
Okay.
Fucking
Oh,
new to
okay.
you two, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, new to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually before us. I agree.
Yes.
You
I mean,
usually do
I
fast-track things before
yeah,
us.
you're right.
I
I'm
agree.
all up
I
on the
agree.
modern spec. Anyway,
You know
well,
what?
that
Sometimes
I
one.
you-
agree.
Sometimes he is.
So, the Black Widow
Clearly.
trailer comes out on December 3rd.
Fucking rewind the tape.
No, you're
December
usually
3rd.
right.
So
I'm
that's
just
gonna
talking
be
shit to you. Don't get all like upset, okay? Like
One of
everybody
these
knows you
know
days,
when
when I
either.
care enough to make a montage of all the different times Jimmy was wrong and I was right. Well, that'll never happen. But one of these times when somebody else
Oh, man.
cares
Give one
enough to make
example.
the
I'm listening
fucking
to
montage,
examples.
we'll start with the
I mean,
most
I'm
recent
sure
one about
I'm not
that being
always right.
fucking old news. But
I'll
anyway,
listen to examples.
I could see Nico getting one of those trifold things like you set up at the science fair. And
yeah,
he's got
dude,
all these.
that's what I'll do.
He's got all
Are
these
those called,
pictures,
Like
Yeah.
Jimmy is always wrong, Nico is always right.
and he's got
Any
pictures that he
questions?
took with his phone of the podcast, and he printed them out.
And I'll type in the text and shit.
Yeah, I like that.
I might have to do my own video.
Yeah,
I'll have
so
a special episode of Comic Book Wars with all of the people that hate Jimmy, and then I'll all have them give testimonials about how smart I am.
Oh, we
you
don't
would
got
listen.
time
That
for
would
be
be
that.
great.
that would be like
Ain't-
4 days long.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So Black
Good point.
Widow trailer comes out December 3rd. I don't think anybody cares. Any comments on that?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Can I mention that the first appearance of Black Widow, they're fucking like just free now on eBay, dude. They're so cheap, it's ridiculous.
It's gone down.
You should have seen how nice this copy was that sold yesterday for fucking nothing. It was like it sold for like $700. I was just like, what the fuck?
then-
I didn't like bought. It was after I'd sent the info to you guys for the outline, so I didn't. I wasn't like really able to kind of like dig in and look at the pictures. No matter what, it was a steal. They were so good. It might have been like the steal of the century, unless
Might
it was
be.
fucking trimmed and color touched, and that wasn't in the heavy listing. Like someone
Yeah.
just stole that book.
Maybe a good subject for the weekend update. I would like to read about that book. and what it's doing. Because I know
Not
I
much.
sold mine for a lot more than I should have sold for.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn trailer comes
What do
out
you
on
guys think about that?
December 5th. Care.
Boy.
What do you think about it in terms of? I mean, are they doing their best to ruin Harley Quinn as a property? Is that like Warner Media's intention here? Like,
why would they want to do that?
I mean,
The character
dude.
looks nothing like the movie character is nothing like the comic book character. It's just like so far.
People are heartbroken too by all of it. Like
Who?
diehard Harley Quinn fans are just like
Probably
Who's a
Kevin
diehard
Smith.
Harley Quinn fan?
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, how can
For
you be
example?
a diehard fan of like a isn't she like 16? Like, come on, guys.
she's not fucking 16, bro. She was a fucking forensic psychiatrist. Anyway,
Yeah, but like, but like, come on, guys.
okay, back to my point. The Batman Adventure 12's 9/8, the direct markets are way down. I want to say the last one moved for like $1,500. That used to be a $2,000 book, and we talked about it a little bit before. She is DC royalty. I just don't see that book staying down like that. I mean, unless the whole market fucking caves, which I don't suspect is going to happen. But I don't know how much further it's going to dip. It's definitely like a dangerous buy, because theoretically that book could continue to sink, but I think it's going to have its day in the sun again. I think it'll be a $2,000 book again. I'm kind of holding on to see if it continues to drop because I have zero faith in this movie, but I may look back and regret not grabbing one now.
No, I think it's a good play to wait until after this trailer.
You think it's going to go even further down?
Yeah, I think it's going to go down, unfortunately. The only character that I think saw a good uptick, at least in volume of sales, was Black Mask. And from everything that I've read about the plot for him, it sounds terrible as well. So
remember that movie got good early reviews. It's already been screened in its entirety.
And
then, right? So, no, it did, right? And
I don't know.
Then progressively, as we've gotten closer to release date, people are just like, it's going to be fucking terrible. So I don't know.
Well,
what
the premise
happened
for Black Mask just sounded horrible. Now, I don't know if that was ever made official, but it just sounded terrible.
Jimmy, thoughts, please?
Yeah, all these movies sound terrible. And
speaking of,
Jamie Lawson
yeah,
is cast Batman. Who's Jamie Lawson?
Apparently, this woman has just come out of Juilliard, which, how do you get in a major motion picture and you've never been in anything before?
It happens.
I guess. It seems a little odd to me.
She's very talented.
Yeah.
Okay.
The question is really, who is Bella?
It's like
people keep saying Barbara Gordon. Is Commissioner Gordon the guy from Westworld? I thought that was Alfred.
I think you're right on that. Yeah.
So Commissioner Gordon's going to be an African American.
Yeah.
If she is,
do you have a problem
there
with
was
that?
No, but I mean, the point is,
where did this come from? There is absolutely nothing that substantiates. People just
Barbara
started
Gordon
saying
thing?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems
All
like
there
there's
is
some
just
shit that people made up.
articles
I think it's much more likely that she's Poison Ivy. If you're gonna
listen,
like,
we don't know anything, so it's all
Poison
speculation.
Ivy.
And I mean, it's just
right. But my speculation is smart. The other shit is just fucking
no, because there's like they're all big books that are really like out of the spectrum anyways, that you shouldn't be buying right now. Like you should just wait until there's some kind of confirmation. I would assume. Like I mean, are you gonna buy a Poison Ivy keys right now, expecting this character?
No, but
no.
Isn't there a black Batgirl?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's speculation.
And I mean, of course, she could be a non-superhero love interest as well.
I think she's not going to be related to a comic book character, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
And then, I guess the other really big news that came out the last 7 days was that there's going to be a Black Adam movie, and we have a release date, December 22nd,
well, that was
2021. Yeah. No, we knew it was happening, but I mean, we didn't hear anything, so it was almost like it was done. And now I'm hearing that Henry Cavill might be coming back as Superman for it. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So
what do you guys
that's
like?
2 years away, and we talked about episode 25 of the podcast. We talked about some Black Adam books that are still pretty affordable right now. May see
There's
some
Shazam
interest.
Zero, and there's a Cool Ratio.
Yeah. But that's all I had. Really. I went through the outline. I did everything on here.
So the one
Marvel
thing I'm
Family
worried
one's
about,
a pain in the ass.
the one thing I'm worried about looking at the these release dates is the first week of December. You have Black Widow trailer, which will be a big one in terms of Black Widow books. I think the Yelena Belova, and will probably be the first time that we finally see the Red as Guardian.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
So those will probably sell. Then 2 days later, we have Birds of Prey comes out, which again we'll probably see a little bit Black Mask sales. And the same day, V Wars gets released on Netflix. So you have three, in terms of how the market works, you have three kind of big things happening in 1 week. I don't think that's good.
That's terrible. It's the exact same thing that
V-Wars
happened with SDCC and D23 announcements. There was so much stuff that people just got bombarded and overwhelmed, and they ended up not going and buying really much of anything.
Yeah, they go out and buy, like, the Target, buy one thing.
Yeah,
I guess
like, you ready? I'll buy
be...
Black Knight first appearances. Like, that's what fucking happened. You know what I mean? Fucking V-Wars will probably be the winner of that day. And it'll probably only be because it'll take a week before anybody will watch the fucking episodes.
I think it'll be the Red dude.
Red Guardian?
Yeah, Red Guardian.
Dude, Harbor's got such solid fans. His books are hard and high grade. That fucking Silver Age book is a pain in the ass and high grade.
And
I'm kind of upset I got out. I had a 9.2 or a 9.4 or something I sold right after D23. Or wait, SDCC announcements. I can't remember which, but I'm pretty. I shouldn't have done it. I fucking dropped that book too early. I should have held on to it.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
I underestimated. Yeah, it's not a big deal, but I underestimated the Harbor effect. I knew that like he was popular, but I didn't realize he was that popular.
Yeah,
he may steal that whole movie.
Same as Black Knight, Kid Harington.
Same deal, right? The actors themselves being so big, they may steal the movie.
These are laughable things, but I don't want to. Like, I don't want to get into them.
Well,
Jesus.
I've thrown my speculation guess into the ring. What is yours, James?
No,
Mr. Lamborghini, tell us.
I just don't care. I think that these are all like. I think V Wars is going to be crap, and I think these trailers aren't going to be great. So I don't think it's really going to do anything. So we'll see. I don't know. Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about though this week, or we're pretty much? I
thought. Wait, Jimmy, this is important.
Yeah, of course.
Because we were late, I explained the live chat that you were giving out free comic books.
Shut up. Local comic shop day is this weekend, so it's on Saturday. So it's always a good day to go to your local comic shop because also it's the Black Friday weekend. So I'm sure there will be deals. So it's just fun, and then you can get some special variants, special deals, always worth checking out. So I just wanted to pump that out because I love going to local comic shop day events. So yeah, I think that's all we had though.
Well, thanks for the people that were watching live.
Jimmy will get your books, your free books out to you immediately.
So thanks for watching. Good to see Blind Adam and the Comic Perspective in the chat.
We'll
as well as a couple other guys out there.
Yeah, Rich. Rich's friend.
Just be quiet for a second. We'll catch you guys next week.
I like both of them. They're my friends.
You guys are great. We love doing this podcast, and we love writing on the website. So we also have some big news coming that end, and I'm sure there will be some kind of announcement next week. But I don't know. I'm excited. We'll talk to you next week.
Cool.
Later, guys. Gals.